Hi there, welcome. My name is David from Adroit Architecture. Today I want to talk to you about why it's important to clarify the vision and make it plain before you begin that building. First of all, you need to answer the question of what kind of building exactly are you thinking of putting up? Is it a storied building that you need to put up? Perhaps you need to put up a bungalow because the particular need you have is for a one-storied building. Maybe you need to really consider about a multi-storied building because the amount of land available for you to put up your building on is a bit limited. So you need to make use of your vertical space. These are some of the things that you need to be clear about in your mind, about what is going to be appropriate for your need. Sometimes you may find that you have a huge parcel of land and going up would be not as cost effective as simply spreading out your building and making use of the horizontal area that you have. What kind of style of building are you considering that will answer your need and answer your desire, right? Are you thinking of perhaps a classical building whereby the kind of traditional building elements to be captured within the facades so that it has a nice traditional kind of appeal? Or maybe you may be thinking of something that's really contemporary with all manner of large glass openings and overhanging slabs and kind of building elements that make it look really crisp and modern. But perhaps you may need to do something that's a little bit more set back and just enough for your need, because each one of these styles have got their pros and cons. They affect your cost budgets. They affect how you're going to be able to implement in terms of the kind of personnel you'll need to use, the kind of construction techniques you'll need to use. So you need to consider some of these things. Now it's important for you to enumerate the space that you really need in your building project. That way you'll be able to avoid the mistake of actually putting up a building that is too big for your need. You may be considering putting up a dream house on your parcel of land, and you have too many rooms that you've specified for your family, and perhaps your kids are about to leave home within a couple of years. Maybe they're going to college and soon they'll be leaving the nest. If this happens and you've built a house that is too big, you find that you'll have challenges in maintaining a space that has too many rooms, yet they are not being properly utilized. So you need to be able to enumerate what you'll really need in your position in life. You need to be very clear about the size of your property. What do I mean by this? Sometimes someone may have sold to you a parcel of land and told you this is 1/8 of an acre, this is a 50 by 100, right? Then you make your plans based on a 50 by 100. However, you've not considered that 1/8 of an acre, which is about 500 square meters of space, can have different dimensions on it. So if you're not clear on exactly what dimensions your parcel of land is, you can actually end up doing work that ends up becoming abortive because you have not properly considered a design that will sit on the actual parcel of land that you have. I was dealing with a client who knew their parcel of land was a certain size, and we came up with a really nice design that was going to sit on that parcel of land. However, later on, we discovered from re-examining where the beacons were located, we discovered that the land was actually a different size and shape of the correct acreage, but it had a different size and shape, and we had to go back to our design. So that's something that you need to be clear. What's the kind of land that you have, and what are the exact dimensions which will guide you when you're coming up with a design. You need to answer the question about, will you be allowed to do what you wish to do on that parcel of land? You see, every building project has got different constraints that are placed on it by virtue of the location of that land? Have others built something similar in the vicinity of your plot? That should be able to tell you whether what you're thinking is allowed for that area. All right? That's one thing. You need to also consider what are the zoning regulations and what do the authorities of that area where you want to build specify or define regarding that particular place where you wish to build. Okay? So that's basically going into issues to do with zoning regulations. It deals with issues about any encumbrances and any regulations that stipulate how you need to build in that particular location. Okay. Then finally, you need to also consider, do the authorities accept the kind of buildings that you wish to build? In some areas, they have limitations to the height that you can possibly put up. Actually, in many areas. This is because height restrictions may be stipulated by certain bodies, like, for example, if you're building near an airport, you can't just put up a multi-story building in that area due to limitations caused by flight paths and things like that. So these are the kind of parameters that have been defined by different authorities that govern particular areas. So you have to be aware of these things. You need to also consider the feasibility of what it is you want to build. What are the projected earnings that you expect from whatever it is that you wish to build in this location? Maybe it's a rental property that you want to put up. Do you have in your mind the kind of rentals that you'll make from units in this place? That's some of the things that you need to put into your mind with regards to the feasibility of what it is you wish to build. Okay? What's the current value of the land which you're putting up? Because that should be able to guide you to realize, are you optimizing your plot, or do you need to consider something that has a higher return than what it's currently being used for? What is the potential that your plot can yield for you if you optimize it and put the maximum building you are allowed to put up within that location? You need to answer that, because that will guide you to see how much can you put in, and if you need to leverage resources from a different location to be able to maximize your plot. How much are you willing to commit to putting up and optimizing this plot? Okay. You need to consider, what are your cash flows currently, and how much can you project to make in terms of monthly or annual payments that can allow you to know how much can you leverage to be able to develop this property. All these things that we have talked about will help you to have a clear picture of what you need to consider when you're planning your building project, whether it's a home, whether it's a commercial building, whatever it is that you wish to put up on this plot. Answering these questions in your mind will help you to put together a good brief, a good development plan that you can now be able to engage whichever building professional you'll talk to and help them to give you a solution that will fit your need. Right? So do take these things into consideration. They will help you as you begin your building project.